Is that her name? Okay, Google. What's the name of dang it, freaking the Jenner.
You are going to have to speak more coherently for me to understand.
Golly. So how can this one man, many would say boy, convince an entire crew of people and a few idiots on Instagram to come to this island? Billy McFarland, he is this guy who started the Fyre Festival. I hate when people say stuff like this, but this whole story made me really sad for the culture. No one decided to double check and make sure that the Fyre Festival was a real place before they went. What year did it happen? What year did this whole thing happen? 2016? Okay, yeah, so we at least had dial-up at that point. I was talking to a buddy about this whole situation the other day, and I was like, why would you go to this festival if you had no idea where you were really going? There wasn't like a way to get around. Honestly, you kind of just go into it so blind. And he was just like, well, obviously you've never been to a festival before. Yeah, I guess you're right. Honestly, you know what I really like about how the mattresses were covered in protective plastic? You know, Billy didn't have to do that, but he went the extra mile. So people bought these like $2,000-$3,000 or plus tickets to show up to this beach that ended up looking like scout camp. Worse, actually, because at least at scout camp, you're surrounded by people that know how to make a tent and have access to modern luxuries like toilets and flashlights and water. Up until the moment that the guests arrive, he has people convinced that it's gonna be okay. The ex-employees on the documentary, they were just like, oh yeah, we told Billy 100 times that we shouldn't do this, but he kept saying have a positive attitude and move forward with it. There was probably more that you could have done to stop this from freaking happening. I don't know. I just imagine myself a part of that crew, knowing that it's gonna be a complete disaster, watching all the guests come off the bus one by one. It's like that one scene in The Patriot where Jason Isaacs like hands flaming like torch thing over to this other British guy, and he's just like, burn the church to the ground, and all the townspeople are inside the church, and like that one like younger British kid he's like, wait, like I can't believe that this guy's actually asking me to do this, and then he ends up not doing it, and then Jason Isaacs like takes the torch and then like lights the church on fire himself. While the church is burning down, that one kid is just sitting there just like, that's how I would feel. I would feel like that kid if I was part of the staff that was helping all these people get on this fake island. I would feel for the people getting off the bus. It's like, yes, this is partly my fault, but believe you me, I'm not comfortable with this situation either. Except in this case, it wasn't a church that was on fire, it was the Fyre Festival that was on fire. One of the ex-employees, one of the programmers or something was just like, I sent an email to Billy saying like, imagine the horror on everyone's face when, they get off the bus tomorrow and they see, how horrible it is and there's no food and blah, blah, blah. Then Billy sent back an email to that guy saying like, oh, well, at least you'll be able to cheer people up with your yoga or something like that. The first guy was just like, oh, okay. But I still kind of didn't really feel for him because it's just like, that's all you could do. Imagine if you knew that Jeffrey Dahmer was killing all those people and you're just like, I sent him an email. One of the investors or something was like, hey, we're running out of money, Billy, what are we gonna do? And Billy was just like, oh, well, there's more ways that we could make money. We're gonna get these wristbands, people are gonna put money on them, and then like when they get here, we could be like, oh, 10 grand to go see Kylie Jenner or whatever her name is on the yacht and party with Kylie tonight. And the investor was just like, oh, okay, yeah, no, that's a great idea. I was like, wait, was Kylie Jenner even like locked in to come? Does no one fact check this idiot? I would have been like, oh, well, that sounds like a great idea. One question though, is she freaking coming? It reminds me of when I worked at a gas station when I was in college. And I remember on like one of my first days, they asked me like, hey, is it like, can you come in and open the gas station early tomorrow, even though I never did that by myself before. And I was like, yeah, of course, I could definitely do that. And they're like, okay, well, do you know how to open up the ba-ba-ba? And I'm like, yeah, I know how to do all that. Don't worry about it. Like I was new, but I wanted to look like I had like initiative and I wanted to get stuff done. And it's like, yeah, I'll say yes to everything, no problem. And then the next morning at 4, I got to the building and it was all locked up. It was like still dark outside and I was just like, How do you do this? Billy was just making stuff up as he went along, and everyone was just totally on board with it. Like, okay, we're gonna have some villas over there. We're gonna have an open bar over there. Kylie Jenner's gonna be over there. Richard Simmons is gonna do jazzercise classes over there. We're gonna have a carnivores only petting zoo over there. Atlantis, the city of lost dreams / El Dorado, the cartoon version. Signing of the Declaration of Independence. Mayweather fighting Harambe over there. And Blink 182 over there. We'll get on it. I just can't believe that people went to this thing based on what a couple Instagram models, told them. And in case you don't know already, I really just don't like celebrity culture. If a celebrity tells me to do something, I'm more likely to just do the complete opposite of what they tell me to do. It's kind of like in high school when I'd be sitting there as a loser with all my loser friends at lunch. Some girl on the dance team would come over and be like, hey guys, hope you can make it out tonight, and puts a flyer for some dance team event going on at night, and then she would just walk away. And I would just sit there and think to myself, why do these people only talk to me when they need something? Would they ever want to come see something that I was involved in? No, because how would that raise their level on the popularity scale? I just hate that culture, man. Don't listen to it, don't buy into it. Hey, thanks guys, I'm Javi House. Go ahead and click like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks.